Hi, my name is Lee Huber, and this is the Awesome Town Sound Podcast Rewind Volume 2, our recap episode of all the featured artist interviews and songs from the last few months of our podcast. Please share this episode with fellow Santa Clarita music fans, and if you like what you hear from any of these artists, make sure to support them directly. Follow them online, go to their live shows, and please purchase their music. Your support makes all the difference. To jump forward to any particular interview, please check the show notes for time codes. Thanks for listening to the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.
Hi, my name is Samuel Kinsella, and I've been playing and writing music for about 15 years. Throughout that time, I've picked up piano, guitar, bass, tuba, trombone, but what really spoke to me was guitar, because suddenly I had the ability to create full songs with just one instrument. In the last 15 years, I've recorded over 500 songs, so within that, my genre varies. I've ventured into ambient, electronic, soundtrack work, vaporwave, alternative rock, but as of late, I've taken the most pride in my indie folk work. I've tried capturing that peaceful woodland sound that I've listened to and loved all my life, and I think I've done that. To me, songwriting is a means of storytelling. I try not to write myself into my songs that often, but sometimes it provides a comfortable perspective to write from. With music, I've never really relied on it. I see it as something I enjoy doing and something I can pour my time into without expecting anything to come from it. I'm always touched when people enjoy what I do. If I can brighten someone's day or get them to reflect on themselves through my music, then I'm satisfied. You're about to hear a song of mine called Antelope Call. It's the first track on an album I've been working on for quite some time. It's kind of an introduction to the woodland hills and streams that make up the setting of much of the album. The album is called White Grizzly, and I hope to release it in the next couple of months. I don't believe I've shared this anywhere, so for the first time publicly, here's Antelope Call.
It all off is my own. Days getting dim, older than trees on the throne. An antelope call sounds through the mountains, my dear. Someday I'll be like them, just frightened by fear. Rush over my ears, travertine stones laid out in water so clear. I see the tree line, welcoming shoreline there. Down by the dawn, the fires of the night fade away. is betrayed. I see the mast, the ship's overrun with decay. The lights in the trees sheltered us all from the fall. Fog rolling in, thunder clouds over the bay.
Alright, you can hear Antelope Call on every streaming service when it comes out, along with the rest of the album. But in the meantime, you can hear Penniless Whispering, which is an EP I've released as sort of a companion piece to White Grizzly, and that's available everywhere. I hope you've enjoyed, and thank you for listening.
I'm Wyatt,
I'm Adam.
and together we're the Toodaloos.
Yeah. It took us a while to come up with a name that was just the right amount of whimsy, just the right amount of obscurity
Yeah.
that we wanted. Because we were originally a band called The Savage Young for 4 years, on and off. There'd be like a good year of a lot of serious gigging and progress.
And that was a
then
hard rock band too, where we were kind of doing...
Yeah, more alternative style,
rock.
which we still have in us, always.
Yeah, we love a variety of different styles of music, and we're very much inspired by hundreds of different artists.
Hundreds
So-
is probably appropriate, yeah.
It's an appropriate number, right? If I would have said thousands, it would have been like...
Then it's like you're
That's a lot. But
exaggerating. Yeah.
maybe a couple thousand. Yeah.
It's full of a lot of music that we wrote when kind of the rest of our band wasn't as available as they used to be, and me and Wyatt just ended up doing little writing sessions by ourselves.
2 acoustic guitars, and that kind of inspired a sound that was unique and different from what we were doing with the band Savage Young at the time.
That kind of stuff that we're working on, we're now doing with other musicians. So we've been building upon that, but it did just start with a lot of harmonies and acoustic guitars and just like how big and how busy can we sound just being two guys.
It's very Beatle-esque. It's definitely a nod to a lot of, I think, 60s pop and folk rock. But there's elements of a lot of different things in there where I'm inspired. Disney, yeah. That's obviously a big influence on our generation,
like old Disney.
90s kids.
Yeah,
old Disney too.
A lot of jazz, which I never thought would be kind of my style of writing. And it's not only the stuff I write, but it seems to be kind of the most natural stuff I write. A lot of jazz chords and...
Yeah, we're inspired by some kind of unusual sounds and things that are kind of ear-catching and kind of not maybe the expected thing that you'd hear.
Yeah, and you'll hear some kind of show-tuney little, like, jokes.
Yeah, and that's maybe it ties into the whimsy of the thing. It's kind of fun and lighthearted in that sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, the lyrics and kind of the things we decide to sing about include death a lot.
Existentialism. It's like this kind of yin and yang of finding a balance between writing fun music and catchy music, and at the same time saying something poignant.
Yeah, serious, more serious.
Kind of ties in with the Toodaloos as well, you know, being like, goodbye. Yeah. You know, we don't know where the world's going to be in 10 years.
Hopefully not gone.
Hopefully not, yeah. My idea of success is in multiple different areas. Like, for one, I already feel successful just to be able to write. and
having the freedom to do what we do right now is kind of success to us.
Yeah, so kind of any aspirations are just trying to secure that and also make it more rad with more equipment and more money. And also I would love to meet, the people that inspired me.
Yeah.
So getting on some kind of platform where we're sharing our music with a larger amount of people.
And we're kind of in that community of people that we like to be around. A lot of the lyricism in these songs that we're doing are kind of ambiguous and kind of very metaphorical, but they definitely allude to some experiences that me and Adam have shared in. There Goes the Rain is definitely generally a song about overcoming self-doubt and
yeah, without being too specific, I one evening found myself in a different state of mind, and I felt this intense shadow of fear and doubt and all of the things that smother us slightly, I think, throughout the day, because we've all got a good yin and yang going, hopefully. Some people have more negativity in their head. It might not even be things going on outside, just negativity in your head, self-doubt or whatever. And I felt particularly consumed by this shadow of negativity, and it all happened in a momentary lapse of time. And we were driving in the car, we were listening to what was it?
Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride, yeah. Well, and it was following too. I remember putting on "You're Gonna Lose That Girl."
Yeah.
So that's what that line, "What I'm Hearing Helps Me Survive," is, I think, right? That's
definitely,
what you meant. That's what you were touching on. But anyway, yeah, I felt crippled by it. There was something about the music that I don't know. I in my head, I told it to shove off. And it was a weird. I think it might just be personal growth, time. And I think everyone has a time in their life where they find a personal demon, and
that's what it's about.
They stand up to it,
overcoming that shadow, I guess, overcoming personal demons and kind of finding yourself again, and growth.
It was a pretty perfect joining of two different songs we had.
Yeah.
Because I had the chorus and he had the verse.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know they were going to be the same song, but they just fit really well together.
That's often the case, is we'll just kind of slap things together and make it work.
Yeah. We probably got a couple different ideas right now that are going to find their way into the same song.
Yeah. That's how we do it.
And now, here's There Goes the Rain by the Toodaloos on the Awesome Town Sound podcast.
Eyes on the road, forget what you told yourself. You don't even know you well. Let your feelings phase, keeps you numb from the waist down. Thank God for your private health. Some trips are posthumously handy, taking babies from their candy bars. Just very necessary scar. There goes the rain. I haven't seen the sun since the daytime last spring. I've lost my name. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Just passed me by, raced around my side, impressive speed, I dare not try and drive. I'm steering clear on the celestial sphere, and what I'm hearing helps me survive. Some folks take a healthy horse and beat it, feed the beast and then mistreat it. Well, I might believe it if you scream and yell. There goes the rain. Seen the sun since the daytime last spring. I've lost my name. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Simple knots they will untie, leaving us with a sunken anchor. And you should know better than to go sniffing around in my the rain. I haven't seen the sun since the daytime last spring. I've lost my name. I wouldn't trade it for something selfish like fame. There goes the rain. I haven't seen the sun since the daytime last spring. I've lost my name. I wouldn't trade it for anything. No, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
So we actually have our first show as the Toodaloos coming up this Sunday.
This Sunday,
June
the
16th. Yeah, that's going to be at the Hotel Cafe. That's our big plug. That's why we're here.
We're excited about it. We have music that's in the works right now. We have this single that we're going to be releasing very soon. And we're hopefully going to be releasing a full-length LP, 10 songs.
Unless we add another.
Yeah, we write all the time, so there's always a possibility of adding a song here or there. There's going to be music on the horizon. Until then, we're going to be playing live shows and just kind of spreading the word. And
So Instagram, to answer your question, is the only platform we have at the moment.
Yeah, that's our platform right now.
It will be on Spotify and Apple Music. And
any streaming place.
All of that other stuff.
Imagine.
So I'm also going to spell out the name
YouTube.
too. The Toodaloos is TOODALOOS. There's some other ways you can spell that.
Yeah. I made it work.
Yeah.
I'm able to get it.
There's a certain
If Hoobastank is a band,
yeah,
you know?
Right.
Then
We took a thing or two from Hoobastank.
I'm Jim Gustin,
And I'm Truth Jones.
and we're a blues band from Santa Clarita, California. Truth Jones, Jerry Goldenhar, and I have been playing together for our 18th year together.
I started singing it too. So I've been singing my whole life, mostly in church.
Oh, cool.
And actually that's how we met. We met in church.
Yeah, we were in the church choir together. She didn't try to kill me right away, so that didn't come till many times later. But in church, she was behaving herself, and we got along. And my voice is a little unorthodox, so it's nice to have something a little sweeter than my rasp. And just force people to listen to that all night.
Balance it out.
Yeah, everybody eating cough drops and feeling bad for themselves. So.
He already had a band kind of going, and I attended an event that he was playing on, and he said, Jerry, come on up here. And from that point on, I would get the call. So it was, I don't think he ever even asked me if I wanted to be in the band.
Yeah,
He just,
you're still not officially in the band.
I don't know if I'm actually in the band. So.
It's a trial. You're still on probation. We're primarily a blues band. We're not a super traditional blues band. I think we both love that kind of music, but we have a lot of other influences. I grew up as a metalhead in the 80s, played all the Hollywood clubs when I was skinny and had long hair. And, I played country for about 10 years. When Jerry joined our band, we were just kind of a classic rock, kind of cover band.
Yeah.
And we did that for 10, 12 years, but I had all these songs that I'd written over the years, and at some point I kind of got tired of just playing everybody else's songs. I kind of wanted to do my own thing. I had music in me that I wanted people to hear, and Jerry's a good songwriter, and so we have lots of songs. The songs range from kind of rock to country to kind of almost a jazz torch singing kind of thing. But the blues is the basis of all of that stuff, and
Right.
Our fan base is primarily blues guys. We're both belong to several different blues societies, but we'll still play some cover tunes. All of our influence kind of come together, not just Jerry and I, but the other guys in the band. That's the beautiful thing about a band is everybody kind of adds their own ingredient, and it comes out, whatever it is, that blend of all the people contributing. Well, I think as with any artist, you want to share your art with as many people as possible, whatever that is.
Yes.
We love playing live. It's a thrill to hear yourself on the radio. I'm always excited when people buy our CDs and they tell you how much they enjoy them. So just to share, the art that's within you and share the feelings and the thoughts that you have and that other people can hopefully relate to and enjoy is really the driving force. There's not a whole lot of money in music these days for most independent artists, and fortunately we all have day jobs, and we play a lot. We've cut it down a little bit this year and last year, but we do a few little short tours every year, and we've had some great successes. For me, it's always a thrill to be able to play at an event that I attend. Yeah. If it's a club that you go to a lot, you go there and you watch bands and you love going to that club, and then you get a chance to play there.
Yes.
It's really exciting, and that's even more so with festivals and the event here in town, the Valencia Jazz and Blues Festival. That's something I've been going to since it started. And it's one of my favorite things about our city here in Santa Clarita is that event, and I go multiple times every year, and to be able to play that is really a thrill for Jerry and I
it's an
both,
honor.
so.
I mean, we were very honored to be called to play that one.
And now, the song Memphis by Jim Gustin and Truth Jones on the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.
The glitter of LA.
Where can listeners and fans go to hear more, purchase your music? Where can they find you live?
Facebook is probably the best place. Jim Gustin and Truth Jones. We have a Reverb Nation page. You can always just Google us, Jim Gustin and Truth Jones. We have a little online store where you can buy CDs and shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Our stuff's all available on iTunes and Spotify and all the normal places that you listen to music and hopefully maybe pay for music. 21st, Valencia Jazz and Blues Concert Series at Town Center Drive right at the mall. It's a great event. I love it. They have lots of, they have food there from people all around the city. I know Salt Creek.
Yes.
Always, it's a place that we play frequently. They always have good food there. And
it's a free event for the community, so you bring a chair and come sit, or you can actually purchase a VIP table, which is a nice thing to do. And yeah, it's just it's a wonderful way to meet your friends out there. I mean, it's just a big party.
Hey, what's up? My name is John Joseph. I am a pop music recording artist, songwriter, entertainer from right here in the Santa Clarita area. Thank you so much for having me. I grew up always having a love for music and pop music, and my first CD was actually a Britney Spears CD, and ever since then I was hooked. I knew exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I wanted to be, I guess you could say, a pop star. I grew up just always wanting to be on stage. I did talent shows, school plays, and community theater, and different showcases, just really trying to get on stage as much as I could. And I guess you could say it paid off when I was 17, because that's when I got my first ever record deal. That was, to me, making it big. And when I was 18, I decided to go independent, and I met my mentor, Nick Cooper, and he's been amazing on my journey. He works with some of the biggest names in music, Nicki Minaj, Katy Perry, Jennifer Lopez, Zendaya, and he's really taken me under his wing and helped me perfect my craft and really helped me with the artist development side of my music career. And so after recording and working with some of the best songwriters, producers, mixers in the business, I decided that I really wanted to get out there and have people hear the music that I had been recording. And so in 2017, I officially launched myself as John Joseph, the performing artist. And since then, I've performed at multiple Relay for Life events. You've probably seen me around town at the Santa Clarita Relay for Lives. I've done Burbank Relay for Lives. I've done showcases through the high schools out here. And in 2017, I was lucky enough to perform at the iconic Staples Center, which to me was like so surreal. Even looking back on it now, I still just freak out because, I grew up going to concerts there and seeing my idols perform there. And so to be able to be in that space and be backstage and do a sound check in an empty Staples Center was just so surreal. The LA Sparks did a feature on me. They did a video montage, and then it was me and 10,000 people at Staples Center, and I performed my song All the Way, which I then a few days later filmed a music video to at my childhood ranch in Santa Clarita. And when I released that, one of the Backstreet Boys tweeted that song out, and it has just been such a crazy ride. Since then, I have performed on the Sunset Strip at Bar 20 and the iconic Whiskey A Go-Go. And in April, I had the opportunity to open up for 90s girl group Wilson Phillips right here in Valencia at the Canyon Club. So that was crazy, just to be in my hometown doing what I love and opening for such a big name. To me, that was just life-changing. And so that's what I've been up to. And then in March, I released my debut single, I Want You, which is out on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere music is sold. And it's a really fun pop dance record. My musical style, I guess you could say, is like pop music. Growing up listening to Pink and Demi Lovato and Britney Spears, I wanted to really just take what the women in pop are doing and give it my own flair. And so over the years, I've had some hardships, and I really just channeled it in songwriting. And so I've been able to work with some of the biggest names in music when it comes to writing. Andre Merritt wrote a song with me called All the Way, which I dedicated to my friend who had passed away. Andre wrote songs with Rihanna and Chris Brown and Jennifer Lopez, and he wrote that song with me. And what really inspires me is hardships, struggles. I think everyone has struggles, and I think that there's a beauty in the vulnerability of talking about your struggles. And so the last couple of months, I've really decided to make a switch and a shift in my songwriting and start talking about more vulnerable things. And so that's the route I'm taking now. I've recorded some really fun pop dance records. Like I Want You is a really fun pop dance record. And then my next one that I'll be releasing is called How Does It Feel? And it's a pop dance record, but it has a more angry tone to it because I wrote it after I had been really mad at someone. So hardships, betrayal, heartbreak. Those are all the things that inspire me to write music and do what I do. I think it's so important to share your story. I think something that was really cool that was said in the Star is Born movie was everyone has a voice. It's what you have to say that makes it special. So that's what I want to do. I just want to share my story and hopefully inspire others the way music has inspired me. My aspirations as an artist, I want to be able to do this full time and really just be one of the biggest names in music. It's something that I've grew up idolizing, looking at Demi Lovato and Pink and the Jonas Brothers and just people that have really inspired my journey. I want to be up in the ranks with them and tour arenas and win Grammys and just be known for my songwriting. So that's my aspirations. I want to be making, top 10 records and be on the Billboard Hot 100 and really just be a mainstream recording artist. I've had my successes and I'm really proud of what I've done so far being an independent artist, but I would love to get signed again and really work with a label that has some star power to really help me grow my music career further. And I've kind of decided to switch lanes a little bit with the new music. After I release How Does It Feel, the new music is going to be more, soft pop, Ed Sheeran, Adele, Sam Smith style. I really want to be soulful and share my gift and go dive deeper in speaking about heartbreak. So I think what's next for me is just to record an album full of songs that really have some real subjects and real things to talk about. That's what I want to do next. So that's my next goal, and I'm excited for everyone to hear it. I've already started writing the project. I have 2 songs written for it so far, and I'm really, really excited for people to hear a deeper, more vulnerable side to me than I have been in the past. The song that you are going to listen to now is called How Does It Feel? And it's an exclusive for your podcast. I've never shared it anywhere before. It is a song that I wrote after a dinner gone wrong with a family member. And I was just so angry, and by chance I had some studio time a week later, and I looked at the songwriter I was co-writing with, and I said, I need to get this off my chest. I need to talk about this. And so the songwriter was like, cool, here we go. And we wrote the song in a day, and I cut it a few weeks later, and this is what that is. It's just about someone doing you wrong and taking the low road, not taking the high road. You want to get even. You want to kind of show them that you're not the one to mess with. And so that's what it's about. It's How Does It Feel? And I hope you guys enjoy it.
And now, John Joseph on the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.
How does it feel? You created a monster, and now it's gonna destroy you. How does it feel? You took a shot of the poison, the one you fed me, it choked you. I tell you, I spent so long bottling up my feelings. Yeah, I spent so long trying to protect your secret. You lost all my devotion, can't hide your crime is showing. So sleep with one eye open, now I'm in your head. How does it feel? Now the tables are turning, I'm the one holding all the power. Can't touch it, I own it. How does it feel? Now your conscience is burning, are you shaking and nervous now that you're begging, you're broken? How does it feel? There's nowhere to run, I'm blocking the exits. Flames growing, the smoke's getting thicker. Can't turn back the time, I'll never forgive you. You made your bed, now lie in it. I tell you, I spent so long bottling up my feelings. Yeah, I spent so long trying to protect your secret. You lost all my devotion, can't hide your crime is showing. So sleep with one eye open, now I'm in your head. How does it feel? Now the tables are feel? Now your conscience is burning. Are you shaking and nervous now that you're begging, you're broken? How does it feel? Now I'm faster, now I'm stronger, since I figured you out. I keep my head above the water, I'm drowning you out. I'm made of steel, you know I'm indestructible now. You made me faster, you made me stronger. How does it feel? Now the tables are turning. I'm the one holding all the power. Can't touch it, I own it. How does it feel? Now your conscience is burning. Are you shaking and nervous now that you're begging, you're broken? How does it feel?
You can listen to me on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, anywhere music is sold. YouTube, I have a YouTube page. If you want to go to my website to find all of those links, you can go to www.itsjohnjoseph.com. I'm also extremely active on Instagram and Twitter, which is @JohnJosephMusic. And I'm actually in a musical at the Canyon Theater Guild, which will be opening August 10th. It's called The Andrews Brothers. It's a 4-person show, and it's a jukebox musical inspired by the music of the 40s and the Andrews Sisters. It's a really, really funny show, and I hope you can come see it. It opens August 10th and plays through September 8th, weekends through September 8th. So if you're in the Santa Clarita area and you want to go watch some really, really amazing live vocals, great dance moves, and have a good laugh, that's the place to be. I'll see you opening night. Other than that, I will be releasing How Does It Feel in October, and we will go from there on my new project and stuff like that. So thank you so much for having me, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Well, my name is Carlos Lopez, and most people call me Los. I perform under the name Some Other Loco, but I do play with a small combo. We call ourselves the Brothers of Perpetual Sound. But most of the time I perform as Some Other Loco. So that's like my main thing. And again, I play a mix of all that kind of classic rock and corny 70s and fun music that I grew up with, and I hope that most people grew up with. And I always try to play a little something for myself and always play something for the crowd too. So I always try to, cover all the bases, from country music to blues and again, pop music, and you name it. So that's part of mostly what I like to do. Well, I always tell the story that I remember sitting up with my cousin watching Saturday Night Live, and some crazy band called Devo came on. And from that moment on, I knew I wanted to play the guitar. And I grew up during that whole new wave punk kind of first wave of bands like, again, Devo and Black Flag and Dead Kennedys and all that kind of stuff. But always had that classic rock influence because I had older cousins that were playing Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and all that stuff. So I've always considered myself lucky. I'm a child of the 70s because I grew up in the 70s. So I kind of got a chance to listen to all that stuff, not to mention everything else. And, I've come around to bands that I follow like the Grateful Dead. But again, I still appreciate stuff like Jack White and White Stripes and, all this cool modern music that's out. Again, like what we were saying earlier, it's all out there. You just got to listen, put your ear out there and find it and hope that somebody says, hey, have you heard? I know I've been playing for years in clubs and in bars with bands and stuff. But locally out here in Santa Clarita, for probably like the last 5 years, I did like a little thing with a full band. But these last couple years, I've just focused on just doing the acoustic thing because I find myself at a lot of places, like some of my favorite places like Wolf Creek Brewery and Pocock Brewery and Telco Brewery. They're not looking for necessarily a full band, but they're looking for some live entertainment. So again, my thing is to get in where I can fit in and entertain crowds and not necessarily pummel them with just loud music, but some quality as opposed to quantity. So that's like my whole mission with the music now. I'm not in it for the money because I still got a day job. As far as successes, I mean, the fact that people are asking me to and hiring me to play and paying me to play is amazing. I know that 25 years ago when I was trying to play and try to make a living as a musician, I never made a dime. And now, 25, 30 years later, when I've kind of, I guess, for the most part, I wouldn't say have totally complied, but at least, you know, you kind of learn the game, that I'm making more money and having more fun now than I ever did playing, trying to be professional, you know. So I'm hoping that the future is bright and try to find more places, not only here in Santa Clarita, but to branch out. Unless somebody was to drive up and say, hey, get on the van and we're taking you on tour, I try to stay local because I have kids myself and I want to play out and enjoy playing. But that whole thing of maybe touring and everything is, you know...
Yeah, that's a full-time investment.
Exactly. So again, it's I hate to say it, but I love all the attention. And if I could get attention and play, and somebody hears what I play and say, oh man, we really like this guy, we want to come and see this guy again. That's the big payoff for me, that people will even show out or, again, recommend me to a club or whatever. That's the greatest thing when somebody says, hey, I recommended you to someplace and I get a call. So that's great. It's a song by Led Zeppelin from the In Through the Outdoor album, which is probably one of their last studio albums. It's a song called Hot Dog, and it's kind of like this cool country, rockabilly, punkabilly, and it's one of those songs that not only is it a cool kind of country picking song, but the lyrics are fun too, because when you really listen to the lyrics, the way the way they're written, it's kind of like one of these songs at the end of the day, just like anything, just what you thought you had something good, she's rolling out the door. So, and again, it's like one of those things where I've become like a rootsy kind of guy. I like to go back and re-listen to some of the old music that these guys were listening to. And again, it's one of those songs that lends itself where it sounds like something that could have been written today or 100 years ago. So again, it's Hot Dog by Led Zeppelin.
And now, here's Some Other Loco on the Awesome Town Sound podcast.
Down today, my girl is going away. Took the Greyhound
most of the stuff that I do is either on Instagram, and my moniker there is @Diablos507. Or you can find me on Facebook. I know my own personal page is Carlos Lopez on Facebook. You can always look for Los Being Los. If you search that hashtag, I'm sure you'll find something that has my tag on it. So, and again, come and see me locally, and hopefully we'll see you guys all. And thank you for, you guys. I love the whole concept of what you're doing, and I hope that this brings more people locally to other places here in Santa Clarita, and hopefully other musicians will get the same kind of, same kind of loving. So thank you very much.
Yeah, great to have you. Thank you so much.
Hello there, my name is Michael Whelan, and I play keyboards, guitars, and I help write songs for the group Out of Time. The project started back in 2013 with some old high school friends, some of which who didn't even really play musical instruments, but we were just talking and coming up with this idea of a parody 80s hair metal album, and we came up with titles for a track list, and then we ended up actually writing some songs and kind of producing this little demo album that we released in 2015. So yeah, we've never really played anywhere as a group because we never really had a consistent lineup. But just recently, I thought it might be fun to do a gig and play some of these songs live. So we'll actually be performing for the first time ever on Saturday, July 13th at Vincenzo's Pizza, playing with other bands like Burning Red and Fleef. The kind of music we play is definitely melodic rock. The songs definitely became their own things once we started writing them kind of seriously without trying to be like a parody 80s hair metal thing. So there's a few different styles going on in there. There's maybe even some prog, maybe even a little bit of punk rock in there sometimes. Lots of hard guitar riffs and chanty choruses, all that fun stuff. What really inspires us, me and my songwriting partner Dino, we have several big inspirations, but this album was heavily inspired by Van Halen's first album, Van Halen 1, with the single guitar track panned on the left and the huge amounts of reverb and kind of just the fun choruses and the fun songs. So there's some influences. Maybe you can even hear some other things in there like Billy Idol and Scorpions. Just a lot of kind of hard rock. Funny enough, this whole thing started off as a joke, but this is the first project that I was a part of that was the first to ever put music out into the web and have something for people to listen to. Some songs for people to, download and own and just be a part of. So I guess we've succeeded at that, even though when we put it out back in 2015, we really didn't do anything with it. We didn't advertise for it. We didn't do any sort of gigs or anything of the sort. We just kind of put it out there for our friends and family to listen to. We never really intended to build an audience with it because it was just supposed to be a side project. But I guess our future goals would be to definitely write some more songs. This new lineup we have together is really great. It's very, very different lineup from what we started off with back in 2015 when we put out these songs. Almost everybody's entirely different, but there's a lot of energy and inspiration in the air. Everybody in this new lineup is an incredible songwriter, lyricist, musician. We just want to be making more stuff, have more content. The song we're sharing with you is called Blast from the Past. It's the first track off of our demo album that we released back in 2015. The song is about exactly how the project started off as kind of a idolizing of the 80s rock scene and wishing that something like it would come back. It's about not being too fond of the current music scene that's going on today and kind of just wanting to relive the days of old. Production-wise, it's not the strongest, but I mean, it is a demo album coming from kids straight out of high school trying to write heavy metal music, so what can you expect? You'll hear one guitar track coming out of the left speaker or headphone. We intentionally did this because of Van Halen 1's first record, where the whole album, the rhythm guitar track is panned really hard on the left speaker. So fans of Van Halen, hopefully you get a kick out of that, and watch out for that. Hope you enjoy it.
And now, here's Out of Time on the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.
you like what you hear, I implore you to go check out our demo album. Search for Out of Time and look for our song Blast from the Past, and you should be able to find the rest of the album that way. It's on all sorts of streaming platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Deezer, Tidal, all these sorts of streaming platforms. It's also on YouTube. We have lots of fun songs with all sorts of diverse subjects. It's not all, rock and roll. Yeah, you can even buy it on iTunes, Amazon, and all the money is going to go straight into making a really nice sounding next album, which we would really appreciate the support. And if you want to see us live, we will start doing shows as of this weekend. It's Wednesday today, and we'll be doing our first show in a couple days on Saturday, which is pretty crazy to think about. And if you give us a like on Facebook, we'll keep you in touch with any time we're doing live shows and anything that's going on with this project. And hopefully we'll see you down the road. And please give us feedback on what you like, what you don't like. Hopefully we'll see you down the road. Enjoy. Thank you.
My name is Michael Gavrizescu. I am the lead singer and guitar player for Burning Red, right out of Santa Clarita, California. The band has been in action since early 2015. We've had some great opportunities over the years to tour across the United States. We even had a great opportunity out in the Philippines in 2016, which was completely surreal. It definitely opened our eyes as to how life is in other countries aside from the U.S., so that was really cool. Aside from that, we have already released a 5-track EP a couple of years ago. And now we're actually gearing to release another full-length album coming out a little bit later this year called Apocalyptic. We're really excited about that record. We're really proud of it. If we're putting it short and simple, our sound is 3-piece, in-your-face, hard-hitting rock and roll. Down to the basics where it was first founded. It's just raw energy. That is completely what our music is consisted of. But if we want to sort of dive down into the specifics a little bit, I like to call our sound multi-generational. And the reason why I call it that is because we take influence from all the years, all the decades of rock and roll, current and before us. And what we do with that is we combine all that influence into one new, innovative sound. Our goal as a band is we are the band that says, yes, you can do it. You can do whatever it is you want in your life as long as you don't quit and you don't back down and keep going. And we also have songs that delve into the topic of battling your own personal demons and moving forward from that. You can get past whatever it is you're going through. Really, our goal is to be that shoulder to cry on and to be that friend that says you can do it and to encourage you when you need it the most. We are there for you. So the song that I've decided to share on the podcast today is a song called Take Control. It's the first song that I've ever written for Burning Red, and it's actually an audience favorite of ours. This is one of those songs that goes into that battling your own personal demons category. It's particularly about maybe there's a shadow that's being cast over you and preventing you from sort of rising above and doing whatever it is you want. You might feel held back from whatever you want to do because of something or someone. And getting past that, you can feel a huge sense of relief and you will feel a lot more comfortable achieving whatever it is you want when you finally let that shadow go and you leave it behind you. So that's really what this is about.
and I will take control. You said that you would guide me. I found out you lied, and I won't fight you anymore. I won't be feeling lost and all alone inside me. Makes me wonder what I'll be. No more setting in shadows. It's my life. I will take control. I will take You are all alone, nowhere you can hide. And I will finally break you down. I don't want you in my world.
If you want any more information on Burning Red, you can check us out at officialburningred.com, or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at officialburningred, and on Twitter at Burning Red Band. We hope to see you guys live in concert very soon.
Hello, my name is Robert Reed. I'm the guitarist of the band Fleef. I've been playing since Christmas of 2008, so almost 11 years now. Well, the band started back in October of 2018. We played a show at a little local club called Howie's down in Castaic, because originally the band was actually a two-piece. It was me and our drummer Tristan Wilson, but then a month later we added my good friend and the current singer Caden Borgia. So personally, I like alternative rock / metal. I'm a huge Soundgarden, Tool, Primus, Stone Temple Pilots fan. I'm myself, like, if you ever listen to our music, there's barely any soul. It's very just riff writing, like just groovy stuff. So yeah, we're very alternative rock, alternative metal, maybe on the more alternative metal side, because we're just super heavy sounding. No screaming. It's not a lot of screaming though, so you don't have to worry about that. What inspires me in my songwriting is just what I observe in life and what happens in my life, because we all have ups and downs, some more than others. And not to sound too cliche, but I think every musician should strive to use songwriting as an open diary almost. What inspires me to be an artist is I just want to get to that point where you can just play anywhere in the world, and when you hold that mic out to people and they sing your songs, your lyrics right back at you, there's nothing better in the world than that. Even if you don't even make it to a superstar level, even if like no one knows your name 10 years from now, but you still got that small few people in a very esoteric way are still just listening to music on repeat. Well, right now we don't have any music on any streaming sites, but we are currently working on an EP. And you can see us live this Saturday, July 13th at Vincenzo's. We'll be playing with Vinyl and Sheen, Burning Red, and Out of Time. So I hope to see you guys there. So, enjoy all the music and the nice pizza Vincenzo's offers. Thank you.
We are Prussia, and I'm the singer. My name is Shaylee.
I play guitar. My name's Nate.
My name is Gabe, and I'm the bass guitarist.
My name is Julian, and I play drums.
We came up with our name because... So when we were in college, I thought it was really cool that all of us were from different places. And so I was looking into the different cities and all the states that we're from. Gabe was not in the band at the time. But I'm from Pennsylvania, and there's a small town. It's more like a mall in Pennsylvania right outside of Philly called King of Prussia. I had 3 names, and I came to Nate and Julian, and I asked, what do you think of Prussia? And they were like, it's not the worst idea you've ever had in the world. So that's how Prussia came to be. I was just going to call it King of Prussia, and then I realized there's already a band called that, and they're like this sick metal band. So we just decided on Prussia.
We all met at the School Musicians Institute in Hollywood. We all were in the bachelor's program there, bachelor's in performance. We were friends before. We kind of hung out. We had a few classes together. And Shaylee actually kind of got us together because she was applying for a scholarship for the school, and she had a song that she wrote. She gave us some charts, let's play it, and played it, and she got the scholarship. And she was like, well, I guess we're a band now. So if we were good enough to get a scholarship, I guess we should make some music. Kind of... grew from there. We did have another member, but he recently left. But he also went to Musicians Institute, and he recorded on our first EP and some of the songs we just recently recorded as well. So
basically, our style, it's primarily funk and soul music. We are all, each of us has a different background as far as the music that we grew up listening to. So that is also part of our sound. Some of us, Julian was more into hip hop when he was growing up. Nate was into 80s hair metal. And Shaylee was more into, I guess, pop music, boy bands.
No, jazz.
Jazz? Okay, well, jazz. That it is.
Same thing. And boy bands.
And myself, I grew up listening to music that my dad liked, which is 70s prog rock. In an environment like MI, we all get exposed to many different styles of music, and there's a point where all our tastes overlap, and that's kind of how
the mix.
Getting into the festival circuit has been a really, really big goal for us for a long time. We just want to keep putting out singles, and we want to we would really love to do a musical. No, a music video where we're all...
You want to do a musical?
I want to write a musical of my life. Yes. It'd just be Gabe one-liners all the time. I think that we want to ultimately, play festivals with our favorite artists. That's the dream right there. But, recording more, I think for a lot of musicians, getting a record deal is the ultimate goal, but for us it's not the ultimate goal. We just want to keep playing music together and making money and paying off our student loans.
We're just now sort of breaking into smaller festivals, and it took a while because we put out an EP a while ago, but we were still students. We kind of just made music because we just wanted to put it out, and we like playing music together. But the more we did gigs, the more we realized that this is something special and possibility to take it farther than we expected. We're all session musicians as well. We all play with different people and do different gigs and things like that. Then we come together and take that experience from outside, bring it together, and take it to bigger stages, bigger audiences, write more adventurous music. The single we just put out has horns on it. Some of the members are doing background vocals and stuff like that. So basically, expanding our original idea into a bigger, better thing, I guess.
So the song itself is called Hello. Probably 2 or 3 years ago, I was sitting at my house in Georgia on vacation and somehow came up with an idea for a little guitar part for it, sent it to everybody and said, hey, when I get back into town, let's work on this. We worked on it, and pretty quickly kind of got a vision for it, turned it into a song, and then after a year and a half of playing it that way, decided we didn't really like the way it was, and kind of went back to a lot of our songs and went, maybe we should reapproach this. We're a little older now, we've changed the way we write songs, the way we do things, and we've kind of just been playing the song the same way because we don't want to change it, right? We don't want to go through the process of changing it. And we went, well, we want to keep this song, but, maybe let's reinvent how the vision of it, how we've gone about, adding the horn section, changing just the overall arc of how the song goes. And it went from being sort of like a Tower of Power-esque song with kind of a rock chorus, it was a little bit of an amalgamation of a lot of things, to more of a combination of still kind of the Tower of Power influence, but things like Prince, things like Rufus and Shaka Khan, we've kind of taken a lot of those things and thrown them in, but still kept the energy and the integrity, I think, of the song, and we're able to be a little more flexible with it, with the horn section and all that, and still adding the pop mentality of the sections of the song and the background vocals and all the stuff that we can do with it now. That it's really kind of an interesting development of the song that I think kind of traces how we've grown as a band and as individuals, because I don't think we could have written the way it is now when we first introduced it. I think we've just grown a lot in that way.
And now, here's the song, Hello, by Prussia, on the Awesome Town Sound podcast.
She's walking your way. What you gonna do? Tell me what you gonna do? No one helping you. And what you gonna say? What you gonna say? Now she's walking your way. Tell me what you're gonna what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come on, keep it cool. Tell me what you're gonna do. Hello, should've said that long ago. Tell me things that I don't know. Wow, you make me lose control. Hello, think that I've done lost my mind. Where have you been all this time? Think I'm gonna make you mine. Hello, should've said that long ago. Tell me things that I don't know. Wow, you make me lose control. Hello, think that I've done lost my mind. Where have you been all this time? Think I'm gonna make you mine.
We're available on all streaming platforms, but primarily, Spotify and Apple Music. Those are the ones that we like people to use Tidal to, I don't know if people even use that anymore. We're on all streaming platforms. We also released a lyric video, which is on our YouTube channel, and so you can check it out there. SoundCloud, we put out trap beats, not really. But yeah, pretty much anywhere you look. Just if you type in Prussia Band and then the song Hello, you will find our music.
I always say whenever anyone asks that, I just say, let's be friends. Follow us on social media.
Hi, I'm Tom Lamog, singer, songwriter, guitarist, and leader of the Santa Clarita-based band, the Far West Sessions. We're in our 10th year of performing at a number of places here in Santa Clarita, along with the Antelope and San Fernando Valleys, including Vincenzo's Pizza in Newhall, Wolf Creek Brewery. We've performed at Kulak's Woodshed in North Hollywood. A couple of new places, Brewery Draconum and Telco Brewery. Within the last few months, we've made appearances there. The Wine Affair, which has been a long-standing event here in Santa Clarita, is some place that we've played for a few times. And not too long ago, we did an appearance on SCV TV's House Blend with Stephen Peoples, which continues to air in reruns. And it's also available at their website. It's been 10 years of great fun playing around town, and these guys who make up the Far West Sessions, so talented, so fun. It's been a great time. Well, it started in 2009 when David and I first met at an open mic over at the Canyon Theater Guild. We got together more frequently with guitars, just jamming through songs that we both knew. We had a lot of friends notice what we were doing and wanted to be a part of that process. So Mark Davis joined as our drummer. Phil Sykes as bass player for the band. And then we had Arden Acord join us on his fiddle and mandolin. And Trout Davis brought his harmonica and dobro skills to the band. So we had what I affectionately call the rock section, which was primarily myself, David, Mark, and Phil, and then the bluegrass section, which was Arden and Trout. And the sound that we put together was very unique to the Santa Clarita area. Thus became the Far West Sessions. And that was the lineup that we had for several years until 2018 when Trout retired from the band. And Arden had accompanied Trout. They've been longtime musical partners and went off and did their own style of music. Gary Jensen came in as our second co-lead guitar player, and we are now standing at 5 players. That makes up the Far West Sessions. And it's been a great 10 years of playing music with all these guys. Just a wonderful, wonderful time. Well, typically it's a little bit of rock, some blues. Occasionally we play country. We like to call what we play homegrown originals, California-fied country rock and rock and roll. The cover songs we typically include in our set list are from singer-songwriters of the 60s and 70s. You'll notice plenty of dueling guitars going on and maybe some 2 or 3 part harmonies with a country rock or maybe classic rock vibe. Some of the artists that we gravitate towards include the Eagles, the Doobie Brothers, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Jackson Browne, some Creedence, along with country counterparts Vince Gill, Tim McGraw, Garth Brooks, and Chris Stapleton. Their songs you'll find in our set list quite a bit. It's a style of music we like. Well, personally, it depends on how I'm feeling. There are times when I feel as peaceful as a boat on a lake at sunrise when no one's around. And then there are those other times when I want to turn the music up so loud that it shakes me enough to change my mood into something more energized, ready to take on the world kind of a thing. I guess finding somewhere in between is my most comfortable, where I can turn a story from experiences that were either shared or are my own and put it into music and lyrics that's relatable. Most of these songs trigger a memory of the person who shared it with me. Since I'm still friends with all of them, I'm guessing I'm telling their stories right. When someone takes the time to share their stories with me, or an event that triggers an intense emotion, or when another songwriter has an idea but needs help with finishing what they started, those are all inspirational to me. When someone takes the time to share their stories with me, there's a certain trust they have with me, whether it's to put their mind at ease or share their burden. It's a moment when there's vulnerability and exposure. It's also a revalidation of friendship and love, I suppose. As for intense emotion, it's true what some of my favorite songwriters, my heroes and legends say. If you can focus all of that emotion into writing, you can come up with some pretty amazing stories to share. I started off in the late 70s strumming campfire songs, then managed to get some really good advice from musicians all through the years. It's been a slow process, but I'm told just keep at it. Playing music with other musicians I don't know is another one of those aspirations, which is something that David Fry had suggested to me. Just get out there and play with as many musicians as you can, which is essential to your learning. As a result of that, I've got friends in Portland, Oregon who asked me to come back and be a part of their organized jam. Some friends who are actually doing a lot of playing locally in the Phoenix, Arizona area that invite me to sit in, which is just a total blast. And then my songwriting partner, Brian Thompson, who's been my songwriting partner for 20 years, based in Dallas. Every time I go to Dallas, there's usually something happening with a number of musicians out there getting together to jam, which has just been a blast. The other aspiration is tied to writing a solid song that people will recognize at some point in time. The closest I've ever gotten to doing that is a song that I wrote. It's called It's Not Magic, Just Hard Work. It was written for Keith Colburn, who's the captain of The Wizard on Discovery Channel's Deadliest Catch. He was so flattered with the song that he gave it to the show's producers to have it featured on the show someday, which was really kind of cool. What have you succeeded at? Well, there are a few things I'm proud of accomplishing. First, there's keeping the guys in the band together. We all work day jobs, and we have our own lives and challenges and commitments. And after 10 years, we all managed to find the time and interest in continuing to do music together. So it's great. Next, there's the ability to write a song, and not just any song, but songs that the band can put their support behind, and performing show after show, year after year. And for the folks that come to our gigs and they let us know that they're really enjoying what we do, genuinely appreciate that, which is really great. Finally, the support of our family, just getting them to come along for the ride with us, allowing us to really do the best that we can. It's real important to have our wives support what we do, and we know that makes a real difference. So we're really happy at being able to have them be a part of this with us. It's something that you can really see at the end of the year when we have what we call our year-end tip jar celebration around Christmas time, where everyone just comes together. You know that the Far West Sessions has become a family-run enterprise, I suppose. What goals do you have? For the band is to keep our set lists interesting and entertaining for the band to play. And something that our guests can continue to enjoy. Maybe find some new venues to perform at. Could be another. I haven't mentioned this to the guys, but maybe one day I'm hoping we can open for some big name act at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center. For me, a goal is just to really stay the course, keep up with getting better at playing guitar and singing and writing good songs. Well, the song is Rockin' and Blues Country. It's the title track for my newest album. When I started to write the song, I wanted it to be about the band, each of the members of the band. Each of us have been raised on one of those genres, blues, country, rock. So I wanted it to kind of represent what each of the band members brings into the band. Plus, I was wanting to write a song that we could play in place of the Skynyrd song everyone asks to hear, which is Freebird. So when we went into the studio, I had asked the guys just to cut loose on their solos and to represent their genre. Whether they did it or not, well, you could be the judge. Of course, for me, it was one of the most memorable performances that I had ever heard this band put forth. So I hope you enjoy it. Rockin' in Blues Country.
Music in him says is you. World around him shaped his views. Raised on vintage by tradition. A hostage to a pop addiction. Took their words note for note, what he heard. Played for his friends every day. They would say, with these songs he pays his dues. On the road, the same old tunes. Often thinks about something new. The sweet country songs and rhythm and blues. But all he knows is in a book he carries round. That's what got him the gigs in front of the crowds. Picking peaches, strum blues. He's bound for heaven in a lead balloon. Through funky trees and purple buzzes. Climb the watchtower, feel the buzz. With his guitar, he makes the weep. Has everyone on their feet. Home sweet home, birds are free. He's living it up and rocking in blues country. Different town. Up on stage, he looks around. A bounce party with the crowd. The dance and drink and get loud. Turns up his guitar to give it all. Here's one before ya, before the last call. Drum and blues. He's bound to heaven in a lead balloon. Through foggy trees and purple fuzz. Climb the watchtower, feel the buzz. With his guitar, he makes the weep. Has everyone on their feet. Home sweet home, birds are free. He's living it up and rocking in blues country.
Well, thanks again for having me as your guest. You can find my music on Apple iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby. Probably the best way to find us is to just do a Google search on Far West Sessions, Groove and Tom Lomog. All of those searches should take you to a place where you can find a place to purchase and download our music. In terms of our next show, we're thrilled to be going to the Main Theater, which is in downtown Newhall on Friday, July 26th at 8 p.m. There's a $10 admission fee, but when you pay that, we're going to give you a copy of Rockin' and Blues Country, the album, as a thanks for supporting our music. So hope you can make that. And again, you can do a Google search or even check out the City of Santa Clarita's webpage. That should have our information as well. And boy, oh boy, we're playing locally in Santa Clarita. If you just check out our Facebook page, we've got our tour schedule posted there. You can also find Groove and Tom music online as well, and it has the same information. So those are all the places you can find where you can buy our music, where you can see us, pictures, stories, and so on and so forth. So thanks again for having me as your guest.
My name is Steve Jones, and I'm a blues artist, singer-songwriter from Santa Clarita, California. I've been playing blues for over 30 years now, and most of it's been on bass, but a lot of it's been fairly successful. A lot of different albums, a lot of different bands, a lot of great musicians. I could tell a lot of stories, but I'm really happy to be in Santa Clarita doing what I'm doing. I do a solo acoustic blues show on guitar and stand-up bass. Half of my set list you're going to hear original music. The other half you're going to hear a lot of old standards reintroduced in the way I like to perform, the way I see how the songs go for me, and to try to reintroduce the blues to Santa Clarita. And I've been welcomed very, very well. The community has been really awesome with it. I'm having a good time. My career started in the Midwest, and I was with some really awesome bands, like I said, back in Iowa, put out a couple CDs with bands there. I was always writing and recording. It's always been part of my thing. Moved out to Southern California, to LA here, where I jumped into a rockabilly band for about a year or so. Helped them support an album and had a good time slapping on the bass, doing that upright, stand-up thing, and it was awesome. I met a guy named Keith Boyce, and we formed a band called Joe Blues and the Backseat Drivers. We put out 2 albums back in the mid-2000s, and we were pretty successful around the area and really had a good time. So after that kind of played its course out, and I found myself doing some soul searching, and I went back to the acoustic guitar, started writing more stuff, and like I said, the community has welcomed me. I really like to thank Wolf Creek, Pocock, Telco, Draconum. They've all been great, just supporting my music and just supporting the blues and live music in Santa Clarita. They've been just awesome. When I was a kid, I was listening to, Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and B.B. King, Freddie King. So all those guys got me started in the blues. But it was all the guys that took it from there, all the rockers and the local blues guys that took all of the songs from those first great artists and interpreted them their own way. They play them their own way, and they would spin them their own way. And that gave me a lot of hope that, I can do this too. And I started writing, started recording. And so, it's guys that were like George Thorogood, ZZ Top, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton, just to, kind of give some familiar names that they took all these great songs from, Robert Johnson or whatever and made them their own. And that's where I kind of use their influences to do what I do. So I take a lot of those old standards and play them my way. Play them how I like to play them and reintroduce them. I might take a Chicago song and play it with a Texas shuffle. I'll take a Texas shuffle and play it on slide. And I'll take a slide song and play it on the bass. But it also gives me a great creative license to write how I want to. And I do want to do it within the integrity of the blues and to not disrespect those that came before me. So all the stuff I write, tells a story, usually has a hook that people can understand, and maybe, just a little bit of entertainment, maybe something to give them something to think about. My aspirations right now would be to just make sure that the blues is kept alive, keep performing it, keep writing it, make sure that people don't forget about the blues. I released an album last year, and I'm really proud of that. It was recorded live in studio, and it's 10 songs, 7 on guitar, 3 on bass. And it kind of tells a story about my journey from the Midwest to Southern California. And it's called One Way Ticket. I'm really proud of how it turned out. I think people have really liked it a lot once they've picked it up and listened to it. Goals for the future, I've just got done writing 10 new songs, with a couple more still waiting, and hoping that as I work them out, playing here at Pocock and at Telco and Wolf Creek, Draconum, get those refined, and maybe next year, second album to come. The song you're going to hear is called It Left Me With Nothing, and it is going to give you a really good idea of who I am, where I came from, and how I got here. I think you'll find it a kind of a little small bio of Steve Jones and his blues, and the whole album is that way. But that's a good one to start with.
And now the song "It Left Me With Nothing" by Steve Jones on the Awesome Town Sound podcast.
Raised on the plains, fields of wheat and corn. Ain't nothing but easy since the day I was born, and it left me with nothing but the blues. My mother was a saint, and my father was a drunk. One brother was a prince, and the other was a punk, and it left me with nothing but the blues. You see, I made it through school, but opportunities were few. I knew I had to move on, I knew what I had to do, and it left me with nothing but the blues. Yes, it left me with nothing but the blues. The tips in my fingers down to the soles in my shoes. It left me with nothing. Yes, it's so. I play the blues 'cause it's all I know, yeah. On my guitar, I played blues on my bass. They said I was a fool and they laughed in my face. They said, don't you be crazy, you ain't ever gonna get rich. Stop playing those blues and start digging that ditch. And it left me with nothing but the blues. I was working in a print shop for more work than pay. So goodbye to my friends and family, and I moved to LA, and it left me with nothing but the blues. Yes, it left me with nothing. Yeah, nothing but the blues. Yes, it did.
Well, I love to play out at the breweries, as I've mentioned, and so I'm coming up here at Pocock August 10th. I'll be at Telco Brewery August 24th. I'll be at the New Hall Press Room September 21st, just to give you an idea of, the next couple of months of what I'm up to. Come on out, listen to some blues. Usually it's a couple hours worth of music, and have a good time. As far as my album, One Way Ticket, you can find it on CD Baby, Amazon Music, iTunes, Apple Music, just whatever your favorite is. Give it a search for Steve Jones One Way Ticket, and you'll probably find me out there. But I'm also available on Spotify, so you can also want to go give it a listen there. Take a look. I'm on Facebook. Look for Steve Jones, or you can find my music page, which is Steve Jones Acoustic Blues. Do a search for that. I'm also on Instagram, so you can follow wherever my next show is. If you want to come on out and see me, it's always something on there posted, so you can find out where I'm at next.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much. For more information about Steve Jones, visit stevejonesacoustic.com. Thank you for listening to the Awesome Town Sound Podcast. We are a production of Radio Free Santa Clarita. For more information, visit radiofreesantaclarita.org. You can keep up with all the local music events that we mention here by visiting the Awesome Town Sound Facebook page. And if you enjoyed our show, please tell your friends about it on social media. Tell your friends to subscribe, because the bigger this music community gets, the better. We live in an awesome town with awesome artists, awesome bands, and awesome fans. So keep on listening to the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.